What happens is in your operating budget, there's separate lines that show a transfer to reserve fund, whether it's equipment, fire, or whatever. And unless you change that adjustment, you're not actually changing the tax levy requirement. We're putting into a reserve fund and then designating projects to come from this reserve fund and are funded by that. So unless you change what's in the operating, that won't impact your tax levy.
So just a quick follow-up. I'm just assuming that whatever we change in our capital budget, we actually do impact that transfer to capital?
No.
But no, I'm saying that we could intentionally do that, right? We could
You
just
could.
say
Yes,
that because we reduce this in the capital expenditures, we don't need to transfer that amount over.
if council wishes to do that.
Okay, thanks.
That impacts our reserves, the residual reserve.
Correct. And savings for the future with any infrastructure replacement.
On page 2 and page 3, I noticed that some of those projects under stormwater and Main Street crossings that they say now. So I'm all in favor of doing safety issues immediately. That makes sense. And I see that we've done second lifts of asphalts, or we need to do. So I like that. I mean, we want to finish what we've started. There's no point in leaving it. But I noticed that Deacon Street, for example, it doesn't have it now. It says a priority rating of 1 to 5. Can that be left?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the work on Deacon Street is engineering only. That's for the second phase of the Bedford stormwater upgrades. So we would need to do that engineering work and design work before we could actually, once we have the outlet, then we need to start actually upgrading sections of stormwater sewer. And this allows us to do that next section of stormwater sewer that needs to be upgraded.
Okay.
Sorry.
Scott?
Richardson Drive and Outer Drive, we have a capital request from our lake, the Lenton Shores Nature Trails. And I'm all in favor of us doing things and creating parking and stuff. Is it possible to do Outer Drive 1 year and to do, on page 3, it's $5,000. Is it possible to do like one year? Because they're in different locations, right? So you'd have to have somebody at one spot and then move to the second spot to doing the next one the next year. Is there any advantage to that? Because I know, for example, that Outer Drive has been all cleaned up and they've done a lot of the renovations and work already there. So if they were to do that one this year and then do Richardson next year, because I know that there's a fair amount of frag in there. Al did indicate to me that the path is above the frag, but there is a lot of frag in there as well that they'll be probably going to do work on, because I think that's phase 3 of the Fragmites project. So I'm wondering if we could do one now and then do another. It's only going to save $2,500, but it would be like phase 1 and phase 2 of doing the parking. I'm just...
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the dollar amount is from a capital request, so it was I guess not politically correct. It was a want project, not a need project, so it very much could be separated into a phased approach.
Well, I personally would like to see, I'd like to see us moving forward on the trails, because this is an important aspect for economic development. But I think if we were to do one year and put the other one for 2015, it wouldn't save a lot of money there, but it would save $2,500 and allow us the opportunity. Maybe Richardson Street will need some work some other way that we can incorporate it in there. I don't know.
Okay. Councilor Russell, I'll go to this side.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Brent on page 6 of 8 at the beach house. $27,000 for the upgrades to washing fixtures and countertops. I understand it's the beach and everything, but we did put a pretty penny in last year in terms of that capital stuff, and the cost seemed to be a little outrageous in terms of when we saw the bill. There was quite a discussion in the council about that. So I guess what I'm saying is accepting we have to do it. I'm not arguing about that. I'm just wondering, I don't know enough about plumbing and heat pumps. I just wonder if there's some way of doing extra strong something or another, because obviously it takes a great meeting. So just something to keep in mind. I don't know about that allocation. I don't know, what that's exactly for, but I just remember you mentioned us last year with the other one when we answered the questions that came from the sources that it takes a lot of reviews. So I didn't know
Mr. Mayor, when we were pricing out some of this work, the intent is to do both washrooms at the beach house, so both the men's and the women's. And the intent would be to replace the particle board countertops with stainless steel, and both stainless steel fixtures that will actually last a significant amount of time. So depending on, should it be approved, we'll tender both together, and depending on the tender prices, we may just choose to proceed with one washroom only, but the intent is very much to make it robust and something that will last.
Thank you. I think that answers that. Like a second one, you don't want. And it's not in here, but I know in the overview through Jan, Mr. Mayor, you say about blue water, our allocation, how we're going to fund the containers once the program starts in July. Okay. You want me to go through you? Who do I?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, if the councillor can wait, you'll have a report at the 16th, the council meeting on the 16th. January 16th will be, we're going for.
Well, I wasn't going to get into how we pay.
No,
I was talking about capital allocation.
Okay, yeah, and there is no capital allocation. When we priced out that program, we know that there will be some material cost in gravel and things,
That's right.
and we can accommodate that in our current stock.
Question answered. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Wonsley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're kind of all over the map. I've only got a few more questions. So it's okay with you, I'm going to just carry on. On page 5 of 8, this is going to be your day, Brent, so I hope you had a good holiday and you're rested. You're going to need Prozac or something by the time we're done. The Grand Bend Harborgan, the federal building roof. We're replacing the roof on a federal building as part of an agreement we make with them. I'm not pointing fingers. You're the guy in the hot seat.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the standard lease agreement basically reads that anything that's considered capital maintenance is the responsibility of the lessee to complete. So we have approached, in the past we've approached the federal government to pony up a portion of the cost, and they haven't. And in a former employment, I had very much the same arrangement, and we made the inquiry at that point in time as well. And the federal government they just don't pay for that. The lease agreement is fairly clear that something that has to be done in the building, like building maintenance, is the cost of a lessee.
My question would be, why are we doing it? Truthfully, why are we doing it? We keep getting hammered from the feds, from the province. We keep doing cleanup. Here's the federal. Oh yeah, okay, we'll do the roof, no problem. I mean, we're talking. How much are we going to incur this year on harbor maintenance out of a thing we don't even own? Right? We keep talking about maybe putting the pier out to keep the water levels up for drafts on, but deaf ears. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. And $7 grand to a small municipality, I just find it's outrageous that the agreement. So I'm hoping we can do something with that, because truthfully, that to me is that's larceny. On the other one, the asphalt, the Legacy Center, can that be delayed a year? The fire roof with the paving gravel. I understand the Zamboni one, it's probably an equipment issue, but I'm wondering on the other one, could it be delayed a year?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, again, it's probably more of a want project than a need project. I believe council was presented a phase plan for the paving of the parking lot in 2011 that was endorsed. So this is moving that forward. Out of the two, most definitely the Zamboni exit is probably more critical to our day-to-day operations, and the fire rate is certainly just an aesthetics and more of a complaint-driven process for the people who are involved.
Just keep going, Mr. Mayor, and I'll be almost done here. All these playground pieces of equipment, we know how expensive they are. Have we had any service clubs or user groups step up to the plate to say, hey, we'll help out, like our good friends at Optimus and Rotary and Lions?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, no, we haven't.
Have we approached any of those service clubs?
Again, through you, Mr. Mayor, no, we haven't. Because it was existing equipment, we felt it was our responsibility to do the life cycle replacement.
I'm wondering on the Thomas Hall acoustic paneling on page 6. Is that to accommodate people who can't hear at council meetings, or is that from renters saying we couldn't hear the groom at the wedding speak?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, weddings actually we don't have too terrible of a problem because there's so much drapery around. It actually acts similar to the sound dampening panels. The purpose of this project was to extend the panel